The average World War II combat veteran would be over 100 years old today. The last living witnesses to that conflict are vanishing, their stories fading with them. The war is slipping from living memory into history. Soon there will be no one left who can say, "I was there." Its impact, however, is everywhere, shaping our politics, technology, and even the food we eat. The echoes of that era still resonate in our daily routines and the world around us. World War II wasn't just a series of distant battles. It was a global crucible that forged the modern world. Every continent felt its shockwaves. Every society was touched. The aftermath didn't end in 1945. The scars of war lingered, visible in shattered cities and broken families. It was the beginning of a new era, rebuilding, reckoning, and transformation. Societies had to reinvent themselves from the ground up. Over 70 million lives were lost, but millions more were changed forever. Families displaced, economies shattered, cultures forced to redefine themselves. The trauma and hope of those years still echo today. The war's innovations led to the Green Revolution, feeding billions, and birthed institutions like the United Nations and World Bank. These changes shaped the world's future. These aren't just historical footnotes. They're the foundation of our present. Our global systems and alliances were born from the ashes of conflict. The true story of World War II is about the ripple effects that continue to shape our lives. Its legacy is alive in every generation. It's about migrations, the birth of new nations, and technological leaps born from desperation. The world map was redrawn and new ideas flourished. To understand today's world, we must understand the world forged in the fires of 1939 to 1945. The lessons of that era remain vital. This past isn't gone. It's woven into our daily lives. It lives on in family stories, in traditions, and in the values we hold dear. The war's legacy is not just in history books, but in the very fabric of our society. We remember, we reflect, and we carry it forward. Let's explore how those echoes still shape us, and why the story of World War II remains as urgent and relevant as ever. At the University of Chicago, a place renowned for its intellectual rigor and tradition, a quiet revolution in historical thinking was underway. Professor Alistair Finch devoted his life to tracing these echoes, subtle yet powerful ripples of the past that shaped the present in ways most never noticed. Unlike traditional military historians, Finch focused not on the battles themselves, but on what happened after the guns fell silent, the aftermath that quietly, yet profoundly, reshaped humanity. As a teenager in post-war Ohio, he witnessed the relief and hope that peace brought. But as he grew older, Finch realized that history books often stopped abruptly at 1945, missing the real story: how societies rebuilt, how trauma lingered, and how ordinary people found ways to move forward. Finch set out to chronicle the war's global impact, not just the politics and economics, but the sweeping social and cultural shifts that rippled across continents and generations. He asked, how did the war change families in Japan? How did it alter the rhythms of daily life, the bonds between parents and children, the dreams of a new generation? How did colonial soldiers' experiences spark independence movements, and what did freedom mean for those who had fought under foreign flags? While his colleagues focused on battles and strategies, Finch mapped the consequences, tracing the invisible threads that connected past to present. He believed that understanding the aftermath was essential to understanding our world today, and that the true legacy of war lay in the lives forever changed. The war was a storm that passed, but it changed the entire landscape, he often said, reminding students that the scars of conflict can last for generations. For over 50 years, Finch became the leading authority on the hidden legacy of World War II, inspiring countless students and fellow historians to look beyond the obvious. His work redefined how we see the war's true impact, urging us to remember not just what was lost, but also what was rebuilt in its wake. Finch's approach was global and meticulous. He traveled the world, piecing together stories from archives in London to municipal records in Tokyo. He called it historical cartography, mapping connections, not just collecting facts. Finch traced how disruptions like the shortage of rubber led to synthetic materials and new industries. He documented mass migrations, showing how they created new nations and identities. Finch pioneered global history, connecting events across continents and decades. His method revealed how a single wartime decision could reshape millions of lives worldwide. The war transformed society, especially the roles of women. With men at war, women filled factories and offices, proving their capabilities and planting seeds for future feminist movements. This shift wasn't just in the US, it was global, from Britain to the Soviet Union. The war also accelerated urbanization, drawing millions into cities and reshaping family structures. Cities became centers of innovation and new consumer economies. In the US, the hypocrisy of fighting fascism abroad while maintaining segregation at home fueled the civil rights movement. African American soldiers returned determined to fight for equality. Finch argued that these social changes were among the war's most profound legacies. The war showed that societal norms could be changed, and that lesson endures. The war left economies in ruins, but it also sparked the birth of a new economic order. Cities and industries lay in rubble, but amid the devastation, there was a sense of urgency and opportunity to rebuild stronger than before. Finch studied the economics of reconstruction, how nations rebuilt not just with bricks and mortar, but with new ideas, policies, and institutions that would shape the future. The process was as much about innovation as it was about restoration. The Marshall Plan, for example, wasn't just financial aid. It was a strategic move to stabilize Europe, prevent further conflict, and contain communism. It laid the groundwork for cooperation and, eventually, the formation of the European Union. In the United States, the war's end brought the Great Depression to a close and fueled a remarkable post-war boom. Suburbs expanded, highways crisscrossed the nation, and a new consumer culture flourished, all propelled by wartime momentum and optimism. But Finch also highlighted the struggles of former colonies, left with economies designed to serve their rulers. These nations faced new forms of dependency and the daunting task of building self-sustaining economies from the ground up. The global economic system that emerged in the aftermath often favored the US and its allies, shaping trade, finance, and development for decades to come. For many post-colonial nations, the path to true economic independence was long, uncertain, and filled with obstacles, as they navigated a world order not designed for their success. The war's economic legacy is a story of both prosperity and inequality, of booming cities and persistent poverty, of hope and hardship side by side. Finch's research showed how the choices made during rebuilding shaped the world's economic landscape for generations, influencing everything from growth rates to social policies. The decisions and institutions created then still influence global economics today, affecting trade, investment, and cooperation across continents. The war's aftermath was as transformative as the conflict itself, reshaping societies and economies in ways that continue to echo. Understanding this era helps explain the foundations of today's global economy and why its legacy still matters. World War II shattered the old colonial order and accelerated decolonization. Exhausted empires like Britain and France couldn't hold on to their colonies, and independence movements surged. Within 15 years, dozens of new nations emerged, forever changing global politics. Finch showed how colonial soldiers returned home as leaders unwilling to accept subjugation. But as empires fell, the Cold War began, dividing the world into US and Soviet camps. The ideological struggle between capitalism and communism defined the next 45 years. International institutions like the UN were often paralyzed by superpower rivalry. The world map we know today was drawn in the aftermath of 1945. The war left deep psychological scars, shaping art, literature, and family life. Finch was among the first to study this trauma. The Holocaust, bombings, and atomic attacks created wounds that lasted generations. The Holocaust led to new international laws and the creation of Israel, with consequences still felt today. Art and philosophy grappled with meaning in a changed world. Existentialism, neo-realist films, and even Godzilla reflected post-war anxieties. Soldiers returned with PTSD, often silent, but their trauma echoed through families. Finch collected stories of these second-generation witnesses. The war's psychological legacy is as real as any physical ruin. Culture became a way to process and remember. These unseen scars continue to shape our world. In 2025, it's easy to see World War II as distant history, but Finch's work warns against this. Today's challenges, economic instability, nationalism, nuclear threats, are rooted in the war's aftermath. Conflicts in Eastern Europe and the South China Sea echo post-war settlements and the Cold War. Alliances like NATO and global trade systems were forged in the war's wake. Finch's framework helps us see how the GI Bill led to the tech boom, or how weakened empires created today's regional instabilities. History is a continuous river, not disconnected events. As populism and nationalism rise, the lessons of the post-war era are more relevant than ever. The peace and prosperity we enjoy were hard-won, not accidental. Understanding this legacy is crucial for navigating today's world. Finch's work reminds us what's at stake. The story of World War II's global impact is vast, but it's also deeply personal. Professor Finch's life's work reminds us that the past is never truly past. The echoes of 1945 are all around us, in our institutions, technologies, and ideas. Studying this history is a journey of discovery and a lesson in the fragility of peace. The stories of those who rebuilt the world are not just about the past, they're about us. The work of uncovering this history continues, and each of us has a role in preserving it. By engaging with this legacy, we honor those who came before and prepare for the challenges ahead. The greatest tribute to that generation is to learn the lessons they paid dearly to teach. If this story has inspired you, subscribe for more documentaries that bring history to life. Let's remember, together.